International Women's Day. And International Women's Day has been going on for 115 years. So, with the idea that women are going to really envision the future for this world with all the changes that are going on, we're going to affect our communities as well as our families. And we're going to build bridges throughout the entire world. So, with that, it's all about action. Now, women get that, right? We have such responsibilities when we have a business. We also still have to take care of people. And that's just the way that the world has thought of us for all this time. But I say the Natural Health Collaborative is bringing the idea that we, each of us, has to nourish ourselves and at the same time replenish our planet to flourish. So, with that, I'm going to ask Cindy Terrell to give us a wonderful way to calm and open the day.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, great. All right, so I'm going to invite everybody to really settle into the space that they're in, feet flat on the ground. Feel if you're, I'm assuming everyone's sitting down, so you feel the chair supporting you, and take a time to just sit up straight to really open up front of your body. And even if that means taking and rolling your shoulders back. And what I also invite you to do is I'm going to do today a combination of breath work and humming. But I've also would like to add a piece if anyone is interested in doing. This is a mudra hand position that is also good for grounding and concentration and just just being. So it's just a matter of touching the tips of your forefinger and your thumb, and you can do both hands, one hand, but that's just gonna, to me, maximize what we're doing here. So as far as the breath goes, what I'd like you to do for a few moments is just pay attention to how the breath feels going through the nose, feel how cool it is. And then on the exhale, noticing how it's warmed up. And just continue doing that. And this just reminds us of the wisdom that's within ourselves. We spend so much time in the outer world that just taking a few moments to go within unleashes a bunch of possibilities that we otherwise might not notice. So as we continue this breath work, what I would like you to do is really concentrate on having that inhalation go deep into the belly and really activate your diaphragm. Too often, we're spending all our time breathing up in our chest, and that comes from the stress that we're carrying throughout the day. And we spend a good majority of our day in that fight or flight mode. When we breathe into our bellies, with that exhalation being very deep within the belly. It doesn't mean forcing it. It's just gentle invitation of activating that diaphragm. And then when you exhale, let it go more slowly than when you inhale. So you can think of it 4 seconds in, maybe hold it for a couple of seconds at the top. And on the exhalation, let it go slowly for say like maybe 6 seconds. And again, I want it to keep it through the nose the whole time. It's in through the nose and out through the nose. And as you do that, really notice how your body really starts to calm down. And you can really feel what's going on and notice. And stay with that breath. And when you're ready, this will really amplify the exhalation. When you're ready, you can add a hum. And what I love about that, that's your mobile sound instrument for vibrational sound healing. When you're doing that, it automatically makes that exhalation longer, which again is just going to bring a deeper relaxation into the whole process. So I invite you to breathe in through your nose. And there's no right or wrong answer with the hum. It can just be a simple and remember, we want this in through the nose and out through the nose. So inhale again. Hum. Let's do that one more time. And when you're ready, I invite you to open your eyes and hopefully you're a lot more relaxed. And what's beautiful about that is you can do it anywhere. Now, obviously, you're not going to always want to hum in front of people, but you can kind of sort of think about the humming too, and that'll actually activate you. But most of all, it's the breath work that you can do anywhere, anytime, any place, even while you're driving. So, welcome everyone.
Probably while you're driving, it's a good idea to stay calm.
Thank you, Cindy.
So I am going to stop the recording and then I'm going to spotlight Maricel. Thank you so much, Cindy. All right. Maricel, it's wonderful to have you here. And I believe you're going to be interviewed by Alicia. So I'm going to put her next to you. And I know that you're going to give an awful lot of actionable tips for people.
Cindy, I don't see Maricel highlighted or me highlighted.
Okay.
Within speaker view, I don't.
Well, I have you pinned.
Okay.
And I'll make you co-host. There.
If you do multi-speaker, it should show, but then Cindy, you're still showing and not Maricel.
She made me co-host, so I just highlighted Maricel and myself. So but I don't see Cindy anymore. Oh, there you go. Your eyes can see. Yeah. So we're taping, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to start the recording.
It is started. It has started.
So welcome, everybody. Today is an honor. Introduce you to Maricel Rocha. She's going to be talking about the stress hormone connection, how hidden mental patterns disrupt your health, and how to rewire them naturally. And I'm going to read a little bit of her introduction. Maricel is a health extension specialist and integrative longevity coach dedicated to helping individuals reverse biological age and extend their health span. That means the years lived in optimal health. With a foundation in biochemistry, biotechnology, and lifestyle medicine, Maricel blends cutting edge science with a deeply personalized approach to rejuvenation. So, welcome, Maricel. This is really exciting for me to be interviewing you today. So, let me ask you this because you'll be talking about stress. So, when you say stress isn't just something we feel, but something the body records, what do you mean by that?
Thank you, Alicia. Thank you, everybody. It's an honor for me to be here and sharing with all of you everything I learned about stress. And yeah, I appreciate your question because we sometimes think that stress is something far away from us, or if we are feeling stress, maybe it's in the moment. But um, I read a book once and it really impacted me. The body keeps the score. So every time we get stress, it impacts our biology. And that's what I want to touch today, the fact that stress is something that is impacting our biology, our physiology. And why it's so important. I want to share 3 stories today. And I would like to start with the story of my mom, my own mother. She lives in Argentina. She's 88 years old. And I always admire and looked up to be like her because she was the perfect at home, the perfect mom, the perfect at her job. She would help so many people. All of her life, she did what she was supposed to do. She was a very active person, eating clean, organic, and doing the exercise. Everything was amazingly good, except for one thing. She didn't know how to calm her down, how to lower her stress. And I remember her as a very anxious person, worrying too much about her siblings and the weather and the money and the health. And that's why stress to me hits home literally and is very important.
So your mom is a typical example of these people pleasing or perfectionism, right?
Yes, and the part of the story that I didn't mention is she has dementia now. So someone that I would expect to live longer, because my grandma, she lived at 98 years old when she passed away. I expected my mom to be just like that or even better, but she developed dementia, something that my grandma didn't have. And because I don't want to be there, I'm really actively reducing my stress as much as possible, as long as all other interventions, right?
So from your perspective, what are the most common health issues you see that are directly connected to this chronic stress?
Yeah, I want to mention there are many, but the ones that I want to mention today, there are only 4 or 5. But before I go and I dive deeper, as I was preparing myself to do this presentation, I asked myself, do I want to share slides? Do I want to go into the biochemical pathways? No. What I want you to get from this presentation is become aware of the impact of stress and what you can do to lower. So before I list all those 4 or 5 things, I want you to imagine that every time you experience stress, you're doing these 5 things to your inner child, your little version of you. Imagine your 5-year-old version. And when we separate things, I think it's more impactful, because things that happens in our body, because we're occupying our body, we're not aware unless it's something dramatic. But let's just take a step back and consider ourselves as our 5-year-old version. That is you're looking at that 5-year-old girl celebrating Women's Day. So whatever your age is, imagine you being 5 years old. And now think about stress. And let's go to the first impact. Insulin resistance. So every time we get into the cortisol peaks of getting stress and adrenaline and all the hormonal imbalance happening in our body to respond to that stress that is happening, we are actually impairing the balance of our insulin in our body, meaning we are getting fatter, obese, we're not regulating glucose as we should, we're getting inflamed. So imagine that little version of you going through all of those negative impacts just because you are stressed, right? Or impact number 2, digestion. When you are in stress mode, you don't have time to digest. Your body's preparing you to flight, to run, to be active. But the stressor sometimes is mental. And because we remember something, because we just got triggered by someone, or because we have remorse or shame or guilt. And what you're doing to that little you, when you do that, her microbiome is not receiving food to survive and thrive. So things like impairing permeability in your gut will be impacted. You may develop leaky gut, and the consequence of that, as we all know, is more inflammation, autoimmune disease. Those things you're causing to your little you. So think twice next time you get stressed, right? Because it's real. Number 3, your immune system gets impacted when we are in stress mode, because we don't have time to do that. So we lower our defenses, and then we start getting sick. And that's what you're doing to your little you. She's gonna get sicker more often. Is it really worth it? Right? Because that's what we're doing. The more stress we cause to ourselves, and when it comes chronic, we lower our immune system. And then we cannot fight diseases as we should. The other part is it has to do with hormones, the sexual hormones, especially for, women. If you are cycling, if you're still having menstrual cycles, every time you are in stress mode, fertility is luxury for the body. So you're going to have shift. You're probably skip your period, or you're going to have some kind of changes associated to that, which in long term could be